Imagine you're walking near a river in Mexico at night. You hear a woman crying, sobbing, calling out, "Mis hijos, my children, where are my children?" Your instinct is to help. You move closer to the sound. The crying gets louder, desperate, heartbroken, and then you see her. A woman in a white dress, long black hair covering her face, standing at the water's edge. You call out, asking if she's okay. She slowly turns toward you. When she lifts her face, there are no eyes, only black, empty sockets. Her mouth opens impossibly wide, and she screams, "You are not my children." This is La Llorona, the weeping woman. For over 500 years, she's wandered rivers across Latin America, drowning anyone who hears her cry. Tonight, you'll learn the tragic true story of how a beautiful woman became the most feared entity in Mexican folklore, and why mothers still warn their children, never go near the water at night. La Llorona's story begins in the early 1500s, during the Spanish conquest of Mexico. In a small village near Mexico City, there lived a beautiful indigenous woman named Maria Letters. She had striking features, long dark hair, and a grace that caught everyone's attention. But Maria's beauty attracted the wrong kind of attention. A wealthy Spanish conquistador rode through her village one day. He was a nobleman, powerful and charming. When he saw Maria, he became obsessed. He courted her with promises of love, wealth, and status. Maria, young and naive, fell deeply in love with him. They began a relationship, and soon Maria became pregnant. The conquistador stayed with her. They had not one child, but two beautiful boys. For a few years they lived together. Maria believed he would marry her. She believed her children would have his name, his protection. But she was indigenous, and he was Spanish nobility. In colonial Mexico, that gap was insurmountable. One day, the conquistador announced he was leaving. He had been arranged to marry a Spanish woman of his own class, a woman who could give him legitimate heirs in the eyes of Spanish society. Maria begged him to stay. She begged him to acknowledge their children. He refused. He told her she was just a diversion. The children meant nothing to him. And then he rode away, leaving Maria with 2 sons and a shattered heart. Maria's grief turned to rage. She looked at her 2 children, playing innocently by the river, and saw only him. Their faces reminded her of the man who abandoned them. Her mind broke under the weight of betrayal, poverty, and shame. In her village, she was now marked as a fallen woman. Her children were illegitimate. They would suffer for their father's sins. One evening, as the sun set over the river, Maria took her 2 sons by the hands. She told them they were going for a walk. She led them to the riverbank where they loved to play. The water was calm, beautiful. The children laughed, throwing stones into the water. And then Maria did the unthinkable. She grabbed both children, and she held them under the water. They struggled. They screamed for their mother to save them. But Maria held them down, tears streaming down her face, until their bodies went still. When she realized what she had done, when the rage left and reality crashed down, Maria let out a scream that echoed across the valley. She ran into the village, screaming, "Mis hijas, my children, what have I done?" The villagers found the 2 small bodies floating in the river, and Maria, consumed by guilt and madness, ran back to the water and threw herself in. She drowned in the same river where she murdered her sons. But death was not her escape. The legend says that when Maria's soul reached the gates of heaven, she was turned away. The angels asked, "Where are your children?" She could not answer. She was condemned to wander the earth forever, searching for her lost sons, unable to enter heaven until she finds them. And so, La Llorona was born. La Llorona now haunts rivers, lakes, and waterways across Latin America. From Mexico to Guatemala, from El Salvador to Colombia, her legend has spread for over 500 years. But she's not just a ghost story, she's a warning, and her methods are specific and terrifying. La Llorona appears always near water, rivers especially. She's searching for her children, calling out "Mis hijos, ¿dónde están mis hijos?" Her cry can be heard for miles. Some say if you hear her close, she's far away. But if you hear her distant and faint, she's already standing behind you. Just like El Silbón, she uses acoustic deception. But La Llorona doesn't just cry, she lures. If she sees children near water, especially boys around the age her sons would have been. She becomes dangerous. She'll call out to them sweetly, pretending to be lost or hurt. When children approach, she grabs them and drags them into the water, drowning them, believing they are her lost sons. Mothers across Mexico tell their children, never go near the water at night, or La Llorona will take you. Adults aren't safe either. If a man encounters La Llorona and looks into her face, he becomes paralyzed with terror. Some reports say she can appear beautiful at first, luring men closer, before revealing her true horrific form. Those who survive her encounter often lose their minds, haunted by her image forever. And those who don't survive are found drowned, their faces frozen in expressions of absolute terror. There are ways to protect yourself. Never approach a crying woman near water at night, no matter how desperate she sounds. If you hear her wailing, run away from the water, don't investigate. And if you must be near water after dark, carry religious items, a cross, holy water, prayers to the Virgin Mary. These are said to repel her, reminding her of the heaven she can never enter. Is La Llorona still seen today? Absolutely. In 2018, multiple witnesses in Guanajuato, Mexico, reported seeing a woman in white at the river, crying and calling for children. Police investigated and found nothing, but locals know. In 2022, a family in Guatemala captured audio of a woman's wailing near Lake Atitlan at 2 a.m. The sound was analyzed, and experts couldn't explain the acoustic properties. It didn't match any known animal or human vocal patterns. And across social media, thousands of Latinos share their family stories. My grandmother saw La Llorona. My uncle heard her at the river. We don't go near water at night because of her. The legend persists because the fear is real. La Llorona represents something deeper than a ghost story. She's the embodiment of maternal guilt, colonial oppression, and the consequences of rage. Her story warns against violence, reminds parents to protect their children, and stands as a testament to how grief can transform into something eternal and terrifying. So remember, if you're ever near water in Latin America at night, and you hear a woman crying for her children, don't answer, don't look, and whatever you do, don't let her see your face, because La Llorona is still searching, still crying, still drowning the innocent in her endless tragic hunt.